This is Joe. He is a contractor with goods or services to sell. He also is committed to his region and works hard to employ high-risk employees, those that are hard to employ or part of a group that is disadvantaged in the workforce. Joe also is committed to staying where he is, doing business from the area his family did. But much like the workforce, where Joe does business is a disadvantaged area with lower than normal income and education. Joe wants to contract with the state. He knows what he has is exactly what the state needs. But every time he submits a bid, he loses because he just can't get his prices low enough. Because his business is not located close to a major business hub, and the staff, while he is committed to them, do drive costs higher. But Joe is in luck. The state of California has a program to help California-based businesses who are helping their local economies and high-risk employees to win contracts. The Target Area Contract Preference Act, or TACPA, requires the state to give preferences to those with work sites in or adjacent to economically distressed areas, and another preference for those committing to use high-risk employees. Why TACPA? The state of California spends millions of dollars each year in contracting. Contracts for simple products like toilet paper or paper bags, to complex contracts for IT projects, and service contracts for consulting to medical services. TACPA encourages and facilitates job maintenance and job development in distressed and declining areas found in California cities and towns. The program gives preferences to California-based businesses that demonstrate and certify that at least 50% of the total labor hours for manufactured goods, or 90% of the total labor hours for services, will be performed at a work site within a TACPA-defined distressed area. The state defines distressed areas as those with census numbers indicating the top quarter of the state with the highest unemployment and poverty. The contractor must certify that either 50% or 90% of the work, depending on manufacturing or services, will be done in one of these areas or in an adjacent area. You can view what areas are covered by the TACPA program at tacpa.dgs.ca.gov. For state solicitations where the worksite is not fixed and the dollar value is anticipated to exceed $100,000 for the purchase of goods or services, the solicitation must include language indicating that the two TACPA preferences, workplace and workforce, are available. The maximum preference cost for the workplace preference cannot exceed $50,000. The maximum preference cost for the workforce preference also cannot exceed $50,000. The maximum combined preferences and incentives resulting from a workplace preference, a workforce preference, and other preferences or incentives provided under any other provision of law shall be 15%, but may not in any case exceed $100,000 in total. The DGS, Procurement Division Support Services Unit, is responsible for reviewing and approving all TACPA applications. There are a few more rules and plenty of information about how to apply for the TACPA preference on the Department of General Services website, tacpa.dgs.ca.gov. What is the preference? Preference amounts differ for goods and services. For those specific to solicitations for goods, a workplace preference of 5% may be approved for California-based businesses that demonstrate and certify that at least 50% of the total labor hours required to manufacture the goods and perform the contract shall be accomplished at an identified worksite or worksites located in a distressed area. Preference amounts specific to solicitations for services. A workplace preference of 5% may be approved for California-based businesses that demonstrate and certify that not less than 90% of the total labor hours required to perform the contract shall be accomplished at an identified worksite or worksites located in a distressed area. The workforce preference may be approved for California-based businesses contracting for services that demonstrate and certify that the workforce completing those labor hours are persons with a high risk of unemployment, as defined in Government Code Section 4532. The workforce preferences approved is from 1% to 4%. Depending on the percentage of a bidder's workforce required to perform the contract, are persons with high risk of unemployment. For both goods and services, Persons with a high risk of unemployment include persons qualified under the Federal Targeted Jobs Tax Credit, including economically disadvantaged youth, economically disadvantaged Vietnam-era veterans, economically disadvantaged ex-convicts, vocational rehabilitation referrals, youth participating in a qualified cooperative education program, recipients of supplemental security income benefits under Title 16 of the Social Security Act, and general assistance recipients. The state awards the workforce preference at 1% for bidders who hire persons with high risk of unemployment, equal to 5 to 9% of its workforce during the period of contract performance, a 2% preference for 10 to 14% of the workforce, a 3% preference for 15 to 19%, and a 4% preference for 20% or more of its workforce are high risk. First, the preferences are limited to $50,000 for workplace and $50,000 for workforce, $100,000 combined. Secondly, you will need to apply for the preference when you bid, certifying that you will fulfill the TACPA commitments you are applying for. If you wish to take advantage of these preferences, you are required to complete and include the following documents at time of bidding. The TACPA application, Standard Form 830, is a required form for goods and services solicitations. This document should identify each firm in the supply chain, including yours, that will perform any of the contract labor hours required to complete this contract. Identify your role in the distribution process. Transportation hours performed by each carrier must be reported separately. The manufacturer's summary of contract activities and labor hours, TACPA, Form 525, is a required form for goods solicitations only. This document should only include the projected production capacity of the manufacturer's facility, number of employees used for each type of the bid product, and total of the projected employee contract labor hours used to manufacture the bid product for the entire contract period. Shipping is only included if the manufacturer will be shipping these items. And the bidder's summary of contract activities and labor hours, TACPA Form 526, is a required form for goods and services solicitations. The purpose of this document is to capture the bidder's projected employees' labor hours to perform this contract. Hours projected should only be those that the bidder itself will use and does not include manufacturing or any other subcontracted hours. Applications that do not have the forms as required or otherwise contain insufficient information may be denied. However, your bid will still be considered for award, but the preferences will not be applied. You can win state contracts while also helping your region. The state understands the extra costs of doing business in a distressed area and with high-risk employees and wants to do business with you. The TACPA preference helps make your bid competitive so everyone wins. The TACPA program is designed to help. Joe was able to use the preference to win state contracts. His business flourished and grew, helping both the region and the employees. The Target Area Contract Preference Act provides preferences for California-based businesses that want to contract with the state while helping the state's distressed work sites and workforces with a high risk of unemployment. For more information about the TACPA program, how to apply for the preference, locate forms, maps, and other useful information, visit tacpa.dgs.ca.gov. If there are any questions during the bid process, vendors can reach out to the Department TACPA liaison